You know what's more unsettling than a jump scare? Something that doesn't have one. Something that just sits in front of you and shows you the world as it actually is, or as it very plausibly could be, and leaves you with no monster to blame, no supernatural explanation to fall back on, no credits rolling and telling you it was all made up. Real horror isn't a haunted house. It's an addiction to eating someone alive in real time. It's a child you raised looking at you like you're nothing. It's the world running out of future and not caring. So today, 10 films with no ghosts, no demons, no jump scares. Just reality doing what reality does. Let's start. Number 10. Buried. Okay, simple setup. Ryan Reynolds, a wooden coffin, 6 feet underground in Iraq, with a lighter, a phone, dwindling oxygen. That's it. That is the entire film. You never leave the box, not once, for 95 minutes. Now, most people hear one actor, one location, 90 minutes, and assume it means boring. They are spectacularly wrong. Director Rodrigo Cortez somehow finds angles inside a coffin you didn't know existed. He finds ways to make a box feel like it's closing in that will genuinely make you hold your breath. Not as a reaction to the story, but because your lungs have decided to participate in the panic. The terror here isn't a monster. It's bureaucracy. A man trying to get someone, anyone, on the phone to help him. And the nightmarish calm of the people on the other end who have policies to follow. Ryan Reynolds gives the best performance of his career in this. Not because he's charming, because he's completely terrified. And it is absolutely contagious. The ending will sit with you for days. Watch it alone, in the dark, if you dare. Number 9. The Road.
How many people do you think are still alive?
In the world? Not very many.
Right. I'm going to warn you about this one. The Road is not a film you put on when you need cheering up. It is not a film you put on when you're already feeling a bit fragile. It is a film you put on when you're ready to be completely leveled by one of the most harrowing depictions of parental love ever committed to the screen. Viggo Mortensen and a young boy, father and son, walking through a world that has already ended. No explanation for what happened, no hope of recovery. Just gray ash, dead trees, collapsing roads, and 2 people who have each other, and absolutely nothing else. It doesn't scare you with what could happen. It grieves you, slowly and completely. There's a scene late in the film, I won't say what happens, where Viggo Mortensen has to make a choice no parent should ever have to make. I have not forgotten it, and I don't think I ever will. Bring tissues, bring someone you love, and prepare to sit quietly for a long time after it ends. Number 8. Beasts of No Nation.
God, I am almost laughing and almost dying. Even though I'm not feeling like laughing.
This one is about a child soldier. I know that sounds like something you should probably watch but won't because you already know it's going to be devastating. I'm telling you anyway. Abraham Atta plays Agu, a funny, mischievous kid selling imagination TV with his friends in a West African village, until his world collapses and he ends up in the hands of a rebel commander played by Idris Elba, who calls himself a father and rules like a god. The film is directed by Cary Fukunaga, and it is visually extraordinary. The landscapes are beautiful. That contrast is deliberate, because what's happening to Agu inside those landscapes is absolutely not. Idris Elba is terrifying, not because he's cartoonishly evil, because he's charismatic, because you understand why a frightened, orphaned boy would follow him, which is the most frightening thing of all. Agu says at one point, I am all of these things, but I also have mother, father, brother, and sister once. They loved me. I'm not going to say anything else. Just watch it. Number 7. Nightcrawler.
Will this be on television?
Morning news. If it bleeds, it leads.
Are you currently hiring?
Jake Gyllenhaal plays Lou Bloom, who talks his way into the world of night crawling, filming crime scenes and accidents in LA and selling the footage to a local news station. And then, because the system rewards people who don't have limits, he starts removing his. Lou Bloom has no backstory. We never find out where he came from, what happened to him, or why he is the way he is. He just exists. Gaunt, wide-eyed, reciting self-help mantras like scripture while doing things that should horrify everyone around him. Jake Gyllenhaal described the character as a coyote. Hungry, nocturnal, and opportunistic. He barely blinks in the entire film. Deliberately. He said he counted. The scariest thing about Nightcrawler isn't Lou himself. It's that Lou succeeds. Every terrible thing he does, every line he crosses, every person he uses, makes him more successful. The film is a satire about capitalism and media that doesn't feel like satire, because nothing in it feels impossible. I came out of Nightcrawler feeling genuinely uneasy about the next time I'd see a crime story on the news. That unease hasn't entirely gone away. Number 6. Children of Men.
You know that ringing in your ears? That ee? That's the sound of the ear cells dying, like their swan song.
2027. Women have stopped being able to have children. The youngest person alive has just died. The world is not coping. Alfonso Cuarón made this in 2006. Critics at the time called it prescient. People watching it now call it a documentary. The London in this film? Checkpoints, caged immigrants, propaganda on every surface, a government holding the country together with fear because it's the only thing left to hold it together with. Doesn't feel like the future. It feels like a Wednesday. Clive Owen plays a man who doesn't want to care anymore, but gets handed something he can't ignore. The first pregnant woman anyone has seen in 18 years. What Cuarón does, and it still makes cinematographers nervous, are these long, unbroken takes in the middle of absolute chaos. A car ambush, a war zone battle, a room full of soldiers who stop fighting because they've heard something. You feel it the way you'd feel it in real life. No cuts, no safety. Just the thing happening in front of you. One of the most important films of this century. More relevant every year. Number 5. We need to talk about Kevin.
Can you say ball? 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 But shouldn't he be talking by now?
I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Thank you.
This one asks a question that has no comfortable answer. Tilda Swinton plays Eva, a mother looking back on the childhood of her son Kevin, played as a teenager by Ezra Miller, who has done something unforgivable. The film never lets you settle. Was Eva a bad mother? Possibly. Was Kevin always going to be who he became? Possibly. Does that matter? The film refuses to say. Ezra Miller is genuinely chilling here. Not because he's loud, not because he's threatening, but because he's calm, calculating, doing small, terrible things in the precise way that someone who knows exactly what he's doing does them. Only to Eva. Only when no one else is looking. And Eva is falling apart in the present, while we watch everything that led to this in fragments. Splashes of red through memory, violence in the peripheral vision of the story. Lynn Ramsey directed this like a wound. The question it leaves you with isn't, what happened? It's, could I have stopped it? That question doesn't go away when the credits roll. Number 4. The Truman Show. Okay, I already know a lot of you won't agree with me on this one, but hear me out, because I genuinely believe this film is the closest thing on this entire list to today's reality. Jim Carrey plays Truman Burbank, an ordinary man, a beautiful seaside town, a loving wife, a best friend, and a good job. He also has absolutely no idea that every single second of his existence, from the day he was born to this very Tuesday, has been a live TV show broadcast to the entire world. Every person in his life, a paid actor, every weather pattern controlled from above. The only real thing in his world is him. And look, think about it. In today's world, we are all Truman Burbank, tracked everywhere. Every search, every click, every move. Algorithms that know what you want before you do. Cameras on every corner. Ads that follow you around the internet like they've been listening. We gave all of that up, willingly, for a phone and a free app. Truman at least didn't know. We do. You never know. We might be closer to the Truman Show than any of us are comfortable admitting. And that, to me, is scarier than anything else on this list. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you land on this one. Number 3. No Country for Old Men.
What is that for?
Would you hold still, please?
I already talked about this one on another list, and I'm talking about it again because it belongs here too. Javier Bardem plays Anton Chigurh, a man who believes the world operates on rules, his rules, and feels absolutely nothing about enforcing them. He is not a horror villain. He doesn't have supernatural powers. He doesn't jump out of the dark. He knocks on doors in broad daylight with that cattle gun under his arm, and he has a conversation with you first. And that conversation, just two people talking, one of whom has already decided what comes next, is more terrifying than anything in the horror section. The Coen brothers made a film about fate wearing the skin of a thriller. And what makes it genuinely scary is the same thing that makes real life genuinely scary. Not that bad things happen, but that they happen without reason, without rules, without anyone being able to stop them, no matter how smart or careful or good they are. The coin flip isn't a gimmick. It is the whole film. Number 2. Amores Perros. A car crash. Mexico City. 3 lives collide. Iñárritu's debut, the first in what he called a trilogy of death, is 154 minutes of cause and consequence so visceral and so unfiltered that the screen doesn't feel like a screen. It feels like a window into a city that is eating its own people alive. 3 stories. A young man in love with his brother's wife, funding their escape through dogfighting. A supermodel whose glamorous new life collapses in the wreckage of one afternoon. A hitman, surrounded by the dogs he loves more than anyone loves him, trying to reach a daughter who doesn't know he's alive. Each story is terrifying in a completely different way. What Iñárritu understood, at 26 making his first film, is that love and violence are the same impulse, just pointed differently. Denis Villeneuve called it one of the best films of the 21st century, and I completely agree with him. Number 1. Requiem for a Dream. When they showed this at a cinema, the audience sat in silence after the credits rolled. Darren Aronofsky follows 4 people in Coney Island, each of them chasing something. A dream, an escape, a reason. Each of them was destroyed by the thing they're chasing. And here's what separates this from every other addiction film ever made. It doesn't lecture you. It doesn't explain. It doesn't editorialize. It just shows you what happens to a human being when need becomes the only thing they are. Ellen Burstyn plays Sarah, a lonely widow who gets a call that she might be on TV and starts dieting with pills that turn into something else entirely. And her disintegration across this film is some of the finest acting in cinema history. She was nominated for the Oscar. She didn't win. People still argue about it. The final act arrives without mercy. All 4 storylines collapse simultaneously. Jump cuts, split screens, the Clint Mansell score turning inside out. And by the end of it, every one of these people is in a kind of hell that started as a dream. This is not a film you enjoy. It is a film you survive. I watched it once. I've never wanted to watch it again. I think about it regularly. That is the most terrifying thing I can say about any film. 10 films. No monsters, no jump scares, just reality in its various shapes. Addiction, war, fate, a box in the ground, a world that's run out of children, doing what it actually does. Some of these will make you cry. Some will make you angry. Requiem for a Dream might make you sit in the dark staring at nothing for 20 minutes. And I know there are more films like this that didn't make the list. So if you want a part 2, or you've got a pick that deserves to be here, drop it below. Like the video if this helped. Subscribe if you want more lists built this way. Now go watch something that stays with you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.